This courtroom moment begins with a charge that immediately raises the stakes. The defendant standing before the court is accused of assaulting a peace officer or judge, which in Texas is classified as a second-degree felony. That means the potential consequences are extremely serious, anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison, plus a fine that can reach $10,000. So right from the start, this isn't a minor case. The judge must carefully confirm that the defendant fully understands the gravity of what she's about to do, entering a plea that could shape the rest of her life. As the hearing unfolds, the judge walks through each constitutional right the defendant is about to give up. The right to a jury trial, the right to confront witnesses, the right to remain silent. These rights are foundational in the American legal system, and judges are required to make sure a defendant knowingly and voluntarily waives them before accepting a plea. But what makes this case especially tense is what happens after the plea is entered. A seemingly routine sentencing hearing suddenly shifts direction when the judge asks a very simple question: "What will your drug test show today?" And that one question sets off a chain reaction that changes the tone of the entire courtroom. As you watch this unfold, think about this. Should a judge show leniency when someone claims they're trying to change their life? Or should the court hold them strictly accountable for every decision they make?
You're charged with assault of a peace officer or judge as a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Ms. Cortez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, by entering this plea, you will be deported, denied naturalization, and re-entry. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to
At
the
this
plea
point in the hearing, the judge begins reviewing the plea agreement, which is essentially a negotiated deal between the defense and the prosecution. Plea agreements are extremely common in criminal cases. In fact, the vast majority of cases in the United States are resolved through pleas rather than trials. Here, the agreement includes 5 years of prison time that would be suspended, meaning the defendant would instead serve community supervision, commonly known as probation. There's also a $1,000 fine, community service hours, and other conditions attached. But something very important to understand is that judges are not always required to accept the recommendations of a plea agreement. Even when the prosecution and defense agree on a sentence, the judge still has the authority to question whether that outcome is appropriate. And in this case, the judge clearly wants to take a closer look at the defendant's situation before finalizing the sentence. That's why the judge begins asking additional questions that soon lead directly into one of the most uncomfortable moments of the hearing.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in the prison. There's a $1,000 fine to be probated. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
It is, Judge.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it
Yes, ma'am.
and sign it in both places?
I did.
By signing that, you're waiving your right to appeal. The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years. There be 100 hours community service restitution, no contact with Ingram Park, RT. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes,
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Judge, we have to say exhibit number 1 and all of its evidence.
No objection.
All right. And state, have you speaking to the complaint?
Yes, Judge, we have.
All right, you may be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, sir.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has made some mistakes in her past, and it's reflected in her criminal history, and it's also reflected in these charges. But since I've known her and I've met her at least 9 months ago, she's turned around a lot. And she has just had a newborn baby. She has 3 children, and she's a single mother. And I can see her doing all she can with the help of her family, raising these children and doing what she can to support them. Your Honor, I know it's outside the plea agreement was for a 5-year. We ask you to consider making it a 4-year term of supervision. Figured in that time she'll either make it or not. And that's all I know.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Now we reach the
when you-
turning point of the hearing. Just when it seems like the sentencing is moving smoothly, the judge asks the defendant a direct and unexpected question. What will your drug test show today? This is actually a strategic move by the court. Judges often use drug testing to evaluate whether a defendant who is asking for leniency is truly making an effort to stay clean and follow the law. At first, the defendant claims the test will only show medication prescribed after the birth of her child, but within seconds, the story begins to shift. She admits the test may actually show methamphetamine, and that revelation immediately changes the tone of the courtroom. From the judge's perspective, this raises serious concerns, especially because the defendant has just argued that she's trying to rebuild her life while raising 3 children. The judge now has to weigh 2 competing narratives: a struggling single mother trying to turn things around, or someone who continues to make choices that put both herself and her family at risk. And the next exchange between the judge and the defendant becomes one of the most emotional moments in the entire hearing.
When you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And I'll tell you right now, if your drug test is negative, then I will sentence you to a length of probation that's 4 years.
It's gonna be 30 because I'm on narcos right now from the hospital.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm on the high school from the hospital. I just had a baby a week ago. So
And that's all it's going to be positive for?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll have my documents, sir. But I can go there to sit with the documents tomorrow if you want.
Oh, no, it will be a drug test today.
Okay. Well, the 5 years will be fine.
All right. So let's do a drug test today. How did you arrive at court today?
Friday.
Okay, then she can get her drug test today and I'll come back with the sentencing and we'll let them know what medication she says she's going to be on, and there should be nothing else in her system.
Okay.
All right. Miss Abrams.
Do I have to go to lunch?
Oh, no, you won't have to pay for it. Miss Abrams, let's get her a drug test today. Now, let me ask you this before I send you for the drug tests.
I don't want to do drug test on this.
Why not?
Huh?
Why not? It's free.
Just because I just do the 5 years.
No. Let's do a drug test. Okay. Unless there's something you want to tell me before I send you to go do your drug test.
Now the courtroom tension rises quickly. When the defendant admits that the drug test may show methamphetamine, she immediately tries to explain it away by suggesting someone may have mixed something into her drink. This is a claim judges hear more often than people might think, and you can hear the judge's skepticism almost instantly. Instead of accepting the explanation, the judge pushes back and redirects the focus to something much bigger: the defendant's responsibilities as a parent. The judge points out something that cuts straight to the heart of the issue. The defendant had just told the court she recently gave birth and has multiple children depending on her. If that's the case, the judge asks, why would she be out in situations where drugs are involved at all? This moment isn't just about the drug test anymore. It becomes about accountability and the responsibilities that come with being a parent. The judge is essentially saying that circumstances may be difficult, but certain choices still carry consequences, especially when children are involved.
Actually, yes, people have to defer
For what?
for methamphetamine.
All right. So that's where we are.
I got drug and someone that mixed it for,
No. Don't do this thing where somebody's mixing drugs for you.
no, they told me something, there was one thing, and there was another.
No. You're not taking meds. You're telling me.
No, I am taking meds too.
No, but here's the thing. You're telling me you just had a child and she shouldn't be out partying with other people. She should be taking care of her child. So who is actually taking care of your child? No. When you were out using drugs, where was your child?
I was my mom.
All right, so
I am taking care of my kids.
so her mom is taking care of her children.
No, I am. I have custody of them. They're at my
No,
apartment.
here's the thing. Just because you have custody of a child doesn't mean that you're taking care of your child. And if you're using drugs, you're not taking care of your child.
With that in mind, Your Honor, we concede to the 5 years term of probation.
All right.
You sentence her today, accordingly.
Mhm. No problem.
At this
All
point,
right.
the court moves forward with sentencing, and the judge outlines a very detailed set of probation conditions. The defendant is sentenced to 5 years in prison, suspended, with 6 years of probation. That means she avoids immediate incarceration but must follow strict supervision requirements. These conditions include regular reporting, proof of employment, community service, parenting classes, and participation in felony drug court. Drug court programs are specifically designed to help individuals struggling with substance abuse while holding them accountable through structured monitoring and treatment. But the judge also raises another serious concern: the welfare of the defendant's children. Because the defendant admitted to possible drug use and has a newborn child, the judge orders that a caseworker check in on the situation. This isn't necessarily about punishment. It's about ensuring that the children involved are safe and supported. This moment shows how courts sometimes have to balance two goals at once: enforcing the law while also trying to address deeper personal and family issues connected to the case.
All right. Court is going to find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, and counsel, if she completes everything early, I'll consider early termination. There's going to be proof of employment within 45 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's going to be a referral to felony drug court. 100 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to order parenting classes. How far did you go in school?
College. I got my medical building coding degree.
I'm sorry, what?
I got my medical building coding degree.
All right, there'll be 50 hours deducted upon completion of parenting classes.
Okay.
There's to be no contact with Ingram Park Mall. Ramon Ramos, Devani Vasquez? Why were you stealing?
Honestly, I was just going through a hard time, to be honest. I was at a point in my life where it's just, I've been through it so much in my life, to be honest, and it gets hard, to be honest. I never,
No, I mean, that still doesn't explain to me why are you not at HEB taking items from them? I'm not recommending you take it from there, but you were stealing from Dillard's department store. What were you taking from Dillard's?
a shirt.
Well, it was more than just shirt because they said they were retrieve items from you.
There was 2 shirts.
Just 2 shirts?
Yeah, they're polo, they're expensive.
All right, so why are you taking polos? And were those female polo shirts?
That was for my son.
How old is your son?
He's 12.
So why are you stealing polo shirts for?
It was for Easter trying to come with her.
I'm sorry,
It
what?
was for Easter trying to come look nice.
I'm sorry, I can't understand.
It was for Easter trying to make my son look nice.
For Easter, so her son looks nice.
It was around Easter time.
All right, isn't Easter the celebration of Jesus Christ? Right?
If
So do you think Jesus weren't you stealing?
No, mom. And that's why I haven't, ever since I was pregnant, I had really changed my heart and changed my,
All right, is Child Protective Services involved in your life?
no,
Do you know if they're in her life?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Because I will tell you right now, I have concerns because she has a child with her and she's going to test positive for meth. The felony theft course. Who stays with you?
just me and myself,
Well, who's with your children right now?
my babysitter. My mom was sick this morning, so I couldn't leave my kids with her. Well, my newborn. My kids are at school.
All right. Somebody called over and have a caseworker come over so they can talk to her just for, they're not going to open the case. But you do need somebody to help you out.
I don't need anybody to help me out. I've been really good for the past 9 months.
You're telling me you're positive for meth. That's not being.
Because someone sipped in my drink, yes. I was around the wrong people. I was just went out for a drink. I was at my friend's house, and that's it. That's the first time I hardly even go out. I don't go out at all.
There's going to be the felony theft course. There's going to be a TAP evaluation in custody. Follow recommendations of TAP. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. Probation, is there anything else?
Go ahead and do
Yeah,
the.
you
want to do the
felony
tab
report for all
evaluation
of
of
this too.
Yes.
What
And
do
the
you
felony
mean?
drug court in custody counsel, that will be done this week because it's early in the
I'm
morning.
going to jail.
Yeah.
But I have to go pick up my son.
Okay.
Like what?
Is there anything else?
Your Honor, when you said it's gonna be this week, what,
What does it mean? So I'm going to jail?
Wednesday.
and if.
I'm going
and
to
what-
jail?
Wait a minute, I'm trying to find out. Okay, so,
My God.
and then once the felony drug court is done, then I'm
Please,
stuck
mommy,
in there.
guys, please go home to my son.
There's a $1,000 fine and that will be probated.
Please, Your Honor,
And
please.
then
You can dress this
Probation.
every week, and I promise I will come out.
probation, is there anything else?
No, then.
All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony
By the
conviction,
end
you're
of
not
this
allowed.
hearing, what started as a straightforward plea agreement turned into a much deeper examination of personal responsibility, parenting, and substance use. The defendant avoided immediate prison time, but the judge made it clear that probation is not a free pass. It comes with strict expectations. Drug treatment programs, community service, parenting classes, and regular supervision are all part of the court's effort to ensure the defendant has an opportunity to change direction. The judge's questions throughout the hearing reveal something important about the justice system. Courts don't just look at the crime itself, they also consider the circumstances surrounding a person's life and the potential impact on others, especially children. But now, we want to hear from you. Do you think the judge made the right call by giving probation instead of prison time? Or should the court have taken a tougher stance given the drug admission and the circumstances? If you found this courtroom breakdown as intense as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom stories and legal
Because
breakdowns.
this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, so
They
deputy,
just have me dressed
So-
up every week. I promise I'll come out.